listen up, Rangers. You know, I had a plan on talking with this thing, but it's kind of really hard to do this without, fully accentuating everything that you say. So, nah, 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 nah. At least you can do that. Alright. Taking the third off, it wasn't as fun as I thought it was going to be. I think the problem is I need those stupid little claws. I maybe could have done like skit smacking something, Not recording audio. This is going wonderfully. Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve. Hopefully, we got everything good now. I got the mic going. We're fan-freaking-tastic. But anyways, today we're going to be going over the film Jurassic World Dominion. Finally got to go check it out. Also doing this in a little bit of a different setup because we got the dinosaurs and stuff in the background. Also, the children are running around, and by children, I mean the Puggles and the kitty, which kitty's currently hanging out right here. Aren't you, buddy? You want to wear the Therizinosaurus mask? You want to be dangerous, kitty? He's like, no. Don't you put that on my head, Daddy. Also, now his hair is floating everywhere. But got to go check it out. And by recently, I mean a few days ago, I meant to try to get this video up yesterday, but that kind of failed because my kidneys were kind of acting up and things hurt. So I was just like, I don't feel like doing anything. This review is also going to be spoiler free because hopefully Arnez is going to go check it out this week. So we'll have a spoiler talk towards the end of the week. If not, I'll probably end up doing it with my wife. But I just want to kind of just give my quick overall synopsis and just my thoughts coming out of the movie because I got to kind of stew on it a little bit longer, which I will say, starting with some good stuff, I really love the dinosaurs in the film. For the most part, I like the inclusion of a bunch of new dinosaurs, and there isn't that heavy focus on stuff that we've seen previously, which is kind of a bit disappointing, because especially, again, like dinosaurs that were kind of more parts of the story throughout, at least the worlds kind of don't really have that much to do in this new one. Like, there's reasons for them doing stuff, but then those reasons are kind of end up being silly. Well, at least the threat that it instills isn't very threatening once you get to a certain point of the film. Because to me, the motivation, and I guess kind of get into a negative real quick, is kind of just falls flat. Because they try to, like, the way that they put the threat in the movie, like you have this, of course, evil corporation, and evil corporation does things, we gotta stop them. And what they are doing definitely is of concern. It's a global issue. It can hurt people. It has hurt people. But the methods that they go about doing this stuff, I feel like if they just would have thought about it a little bit harder, we wouldn't be having these problems. Granted, it's not as bad as Jedi Fallen or Last Jedi. And heck, I still enjoy this more than Fall of the Kingdom. But I will say it still falls in the realm of almost Saturday morning cartoony, the way the plot progresses. But again, dinosaurs, and all the scenes, dinosaurs are great. Kind of reminds me a lot of Godzilla versus Kong too, where it's just like, when you have kind of what you're going there for on the screen, it's awesome. And again, like I like them using a lot more obscure dinosaurs and dinosaurs in the film. Like, of course, like Dimetrodon is not a dinosaur, but I still like calling it a dinosaur, just for the sheer fact of none of them are technically dinosaurs. Well, this movie actually makes them dinosaurs now, so I'm just like, sure. But it's still cool. Like, I still like that they're like, we're getting like Pyroraptors, Therizinosaurus, we're getting the Giga. Like, it's just great to see a bunch of new stuff. Because sometimes, like, seeing the older things get kind of stale. Granted, it might have been nice to see them a little bit more often. But, especially with, like, one of them kind of having to do with the plot. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to say what it was. But just no previous dinosaurs might not get as much love as you think they would in the film. But, again, like, all the new stuff's really great. Now, one negative with the dinosaurs is there's a couple of them that the stuff that they do in the movie doesn't make any sense to me. It's just kind of like, I feel like they weren't doing things because certain characters had plot armor, so they just kind of just sometimes stand there menacingly when they probably should have, which I think the older Jurassic Parks do a really good job at, where they don't, like, the dinosaurs feel a lot more real, and what they were doing kind of makes sense. While in this movie, we have definitely a couple of them where it's just like, they see the people, but then they're just kind of like, just gonna, you can go do your thing for a second. I'm just gonna process what's going on first. At least that's what it appears like. What's going through their brain? They're like, oh, okay, I probably should eat you now. But anyways, back to another positive. Love the return of mainstays for the, at least original Jurassic Park, where you get Ian, Alan, and Ellie. Really actually enjoyed their stuff that they were doing. I know some people were complaining, but actually, every time they were on screen, like, I had a smile on my face, and overall enjoyed like the path that their story goes to, because the movie does kind of have two different plots going on that eventually converge into one towards like the middle end of the movie. Which I will say that I feel like they had a bit of the stronger arc than what Owen and his crew has in the film, which Owen's group is the one that kind of goes through all the threats for the most part, while the other crew, like Alan and them, more or less are kind of like almost like a side quest in a video game. It's more like what they're doing is affecting the backdrop, while Owen and them is like more or less the primary focus, which is kind of the way the movie should be anyway, since it's the Jurassic World, not Jurassic Park. But it was still really nice to see them in the film. Again, just kind of wish that the other part of the plot. What, buddy? Hi. You want to say hi to everybody? Want to say hi to the Rangers? Want to say hi? Can you wave? He's like, can you put me down now? I just wanted to investigate. You like the Therizinosaurus mask? You were wearing it earlier. There we go. Yeah. He's like, I'll chew on it. I'll do it. Okay. I'm sorry. He's got that look like I assaulted him. But I will say, like, pretty much everybody I enjoyed, especially like some returning characters, even for Jurassic World, was really a nice surprise for the film. Wouldn't really say there was any characters that really got on my nerves for the most part. Maybe Dodson, like however you say it. Like, his character kind of had like quirks, which I guess you kind of could pick that up in the first Jurassic Park, because he's kind of skittish. Like, at least he seems skittish in a way. Like, he's not a good people person, which kind of translate into this movie too. But it was just odd, a little odd. But I personally thought it was fine. Graphics were great. Again, really love the dinosaurs. For the most part, any negatives I really have for the movie, a lot of it has to do with the plot. Because, again, there's some parts that was just like a little bit more thought, maybe it was like solve some problems. Because, again, a lot of the stuff just kind of bad things keep happening because of just gross negligence. And then how we were going about trying to solve some of these problems, just like, okay. Again, I can't really get too much into it because, again, there's more or less like the first portion of the film. I'm like, okay, I get what's going on, blah, 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 blah. But then it just, I don't know, it starts falling flat once you get farther into the movie. But the farther you get into the movie, all the cool dinosaur stuff's happening. So your brain kind of shuts, like, at least my brain was kind of shutting off for the most part. And then you get to certain scenes, you're just like, wait, well, that's kind of dumb. Oh, but that's cool though. So I wanted to keep this review just nice and sweet. Overall, I liked it. Definitely had that nice like adventure movie feel to it, which is something I think really helps with the Jurassic Park movies. Because the previous one was more or less like a weird horror movie with some action adventure in it. And I feel like you kind of got to pick something with this. Again, I'd say the weakest thing about the movie is just the plot, because just some script points and just actions that happen in the movie and the reasons why some things are happening in the movie. It's just like, huh? Like, that's kind of dumb. But I think the dinosaurs, the characters more than make up for it, because like most everybody's really enjoyable in the movie. The dinosaur stuff's really cool. And for the most part, it's a nice movie just to kind of shut your brain off and just enjoy the spectacle, you know? Like, this would definitely be like a cool movie to go see in IMAX. Just because of the dinosaur audio, and like action movies are always just way better in IMAX than anything else. And I will say, like, I definitely enjoyed it more than Godzilla vs. Kong, which kind of hurts. Because that movie more so, because at least like this movie, like I liked the characters, while that movie was just like I liked a couple of the people, but the giant monsters were cool. So it's definitely got a positive there. I don't think I liked it more than the first Jurassic World. I'd still say that was probably a better movie. Definitely better than Fallen Kingdom. I'd still put it. I put it up above probably Jurassic Park 3 too for me. But first two are still easily my favorites out of the bunch. But again, we'll have more of a spoiler talk about it once Arnett sees it, so then I can kind of go over the specific problems that I had and then kind of gush a little bit more over some of the stuff I really like. But so look forward to that. Worst case scenario, we'll just do it with my wife. Well, we usually don't film that, but I'll film talking. Yeah. But what did you guys think of Jurassic World Dominion? Let me know in the comments section below and help us defeat those kaijus by hitting the like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. We also got Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, and Facebook. Guys, like keep up to date with channel and donate. We greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye-bye.